Hello and welcome to Productivity Nerd, a podcast all about getting shit done, hopefully in an elegant way that doesn't leave you too broken. In our crazy worlds, we're all about balancing the need to work enough to make ends meet, enough not to annoy our bosses, but also enough that we feel like we've done enough, which can be a whole different psychological and emotional ballgame, along with the human need to rest and stay well. Plus, on top of that, we'd quite like to enjoy ourselves, maybe just a little bit along the way, spending quality time with those we love. I, for one, love hearing about how people get that balance and work more efficiently so they have more time to do the things that they love.
Hello and welcome back to Productivity Nerd. I'm Kathy Soulsby. Today I'm chatting to my friend and colleague Claire, all about holidays. We all love a holiday, but when you have a busy job, sometimes getting ready for the holiday and then coming back from the holiday can be so much stress that you wonder what the point of the holiday was in the first place. So we thought we would collate some of our best top tips on how to have a really good holiday and leave work behind. If that is the best option for you, some people prefer a bit more of a hybrid holiday, as it were. But grab a cuppa, settle in, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. Hello and welcome to Productivity Nerd. I'm Kathy Soulsby, and today Claire and I are collating a load of top tips we've come across and used over the years to help you have a better holiday. Today, Claire and I are joined by Emily. Hi,
Hi.
Emily. Emily is shadowing Claire for work experience today. It's 23 minutes past 10, so Claire has probably already triaged 10 inboxes and a blur of efficiency. I'm imagining it was kind of madness, wasn't it?
Do you know what? How funny, but a couple of them are on holiday. So we did a quick sweep, make sure nothing's coming whilst they're not in the office overnight. And we did the others and learned how to check diaries.
Yes.
Marvelous. Very
She was
good.
saying how the people on holiday, this is her dream diary.
Yeah, empty. Beautiful thing. And so today, weirdly, we are talking about holidays. Not like in a holiday way. We're not comparing suntan cream or talking about planning your holiday. You do that, or you don't do that. Whatever is your preference. We're talking about the bit that we all seem to forget about with holidays, which is that before you go, you work like an absolute demon to clear the decks, and then you have the mountain of stuff to get through when you come back. And sometimes you might also get sucked into your inbox while you're on holiday. All in all, it might feel like it's barely worth the effort for a week of all-inclusive in Faliraki, but it is worth it. And hopefully some of our pre and post holiday tips today will help you actually relax once you hit that sunbed. And we will give you some food for thought on whether you should or should not be checking your inbox while you're away. Now, obviously, a lot of how you manage your holiday will depend on what your role is, right? Whether you're employed, whether you're the boss, whether you're freelance. But somewhere in today, I hope there'll be something that you go, oh, that's a neat idea. Love it. I hope. Maybe not. We'll see. So the first thing I was thinking about when it comes to holidays is communication. So the irony of holidays is it's all that you can think about for in my case anyway, like a month before you go, like 17 days until I'm on holiday, 16 days until I'm on holiday. Unfortunately, nobody else in your world gives that much of a shit about your holiday. So you need to tell them you're going on holiday. You need to tell them again, and you probably need to tell them again. And tell your boss, tell your project leads, tell your clients, tell your team, whoever is important in your world. And I know for freelancers, sometimes that might be not current clients, but sporadic clients who have a tendency 3 days before you go on holiday to go, oh, I've got this lovely project. You go, great, I'm on the beach for 3 weeks, please leave me alone. So anyone you can think of that might need to know, tell them and tell them again, and keep telling them, because trust me, nobody else is thinking about your holiday time as much as you are. I know some people add upcoming holiday dates to their signature block on emails. That's quite a nice one. I'm not sure anybody reads it, but
I don't do that, but
yeah, I know some people who whenever they send me an invoice at the end of the month, they will put their holiday dates on, so I'm aware when they're coming up. That's quite a good one. Or they won't put it on the invoice, they'll put it on the covering email. Quite like that one. Obviously calendar. This is one of my massive bugbears. People in big companies who do that thing where they put an all-day thing saying I'm on
Oh,
holiday for 3 weeks, but they mark it as free. So if you're doing scheduling, it looks like they're around. It
yeah.
drives me crazy. I don't know if it's the same on Google as it is on Outlook. Is it the same? You can do a clever away thing, can't you, on Google?
Yeah, no, I
You
think
can
it is
actually,
the same.
there is a holiday mode,
Yeah,
isn't
the
there, on
holiday
Google, which is
mode.
a bit
Yeah.
better. Yeah. But I know some people will kind of put it in their diary and then they'll also have to tell, their project lead or their line manager or whoever, so they don't want it to show up as busy for them. This is a revolutionary idea. Put 2 appointments in, put one
That's
in for
what I
you,
do. Yeah.
going, I am on holiday, block it, make it really obvious, on the beach, away, not free for anything, and then send a free one to everybody who just needs to know for information. It's not.
That's the way to do it.
Um, and I don't know about you, Claire, but I cheat if I'm going on holiday. I pretend to go away a day before I'm going, and I pretend to get back a day after I'm back. So I get a bit of.
Well, I don't do that, but that is really clever, and I am going to do that moving forward. But I do block out a half a day. I'm not available because I'm doing admin shutting down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I would have a day, ideally, either side of a bit of a buffer. It's
Yeah,
difficult when you're employed because people expect you to be there, but at least block, as you say, half a day to just not have meetings. And also, I think, the first day you get back, definitely block the morning. 'Cause the
definitely.
last thing you want somebody to do is bung in a really important client meeting or something, and you don't have time
I
to prep
actually
for it.
block 9 till 12 on the first
Yeah,
day back, so
yeah,
people can catch up with emails. If they're in the office, go and speak to people.
yeah.
So it's not fall back into back-to-back meetings. That's just unkind.
Well, it is, and it's risky, right? Because if somebody says, "Oh, well, I need so and so for this meeting," right? Great, he's back. It's back on Monday the 10th. Great, Monday the 10th, 9 o'clock. Really important client meeting. It's like, whoa! I haven't been able to read anything. I don't know who this person is. I can't prep for it. So you've got to give people a bit of a gentle ease in, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You're still in margarita mode.
Yeah, I am really bad. When I first start back at work after a holiday, about 2 o'clock, my brain just goes, time for a nap.
I need the sun lounger.
That's it. It is. It's like, oh yeah, my body clock has definitely gone lunch, siesta. No,
It is a slow transition coming back from holiday.
it really is. It
Yeah.
really is. So communication, really key. Block your calendar properly. Block other people's calendars if that's helpful for them, but don't block it with time. Just block it with information. And tell people again, right? Don't expect people to remember that you're going to be watching the sundown with a margarita because they really don't care.
They don't.
They don't care. Much as they love you, they don't care. Really, they're just a bit jealous, probably. Um, and handover. So depending on what your job is, I would say there's got to be a point at which you don't take on any new work. Like
Mhm.
you wouldn't take on a new project. For us BAs, you might say, right, okay, I'm just not going to start a new client after a certain period of time because it's going to be too bitty. So set a cut-off date or several, depending on how that works, and stick to it. And when you're telling people, if you are emailing people who sometimes send you work, I'm thinking of a particular client, not one you're on, Claire, but they have lots of events and they ask our team to help them out with events. And it doesn't seem to matter how many times we say to them, you need to give us a bit of notice before you need us to send out 300 emails individually to people, even though these events are booked months in advance. So there's no reason why they can't give you right, this work needs doing between these dates. If I was on that project, I would be sending them an email going, right, I'm on holiday for these dates. If you want anything doing, you need to get it to me by X. Otherwise, it ain't happening until I get back. And I would be really proactive about that. And then if they go, oh, can you just, I told you, no, I'm not spending my last working day in the office until 3 a.m. just because you can't get your shit together, frankly.
No, it's all about forward planning.
Exactly. And if we're good at it, other people can manage it, right? But if we can help them manage it by making it really explicit, I can do that. You're going to need to get it to me by X. We've done all we can to, mitigate being away. That's my theory. So pause new work starting, set a hard cut-off date, work out who's covering what, if you've got people that can cover. and what level of responsibility they have to make decisions on your behalf before they have to escalate it to somebody else. When I hadn't had a holiday for years, a proper holiday, and I went to Bali for my 50th a few years ago, and there was literally like a flow chart of, if this happens, ask so and so, and if that's really bad, then you need to tell me, and if this, as long as everybody knows where they're at.
I remember it well.
Yes. Not to the time at all a control freak, you understand.
No, it was detailed.
Yeah.
If you're running a business, you've got to.
Yeah, exactly. And also, when somebody's covering for you, I've done cover, probably not as much as you these days. I used to absolutely panic when I had to cover somebody who I wasn't used to covering, because it's scary, because it's new and you think, oh, I don't know this person, I'm going to make a mistake. One of my team sends, we call it the novel. It is a handover note that is I used to print it out, and honestly, it was like 7 pages long with likes, dislikes, what's in the diary, going through the diary almost line by line, going, this is really important, don't move it. This could move, but it's going to be a git to get back in. So, just be aware. And literally blow by blow. So I was always so comfortable because I knew that if something came up, I had the answer.
But isn't that the nice thing to do to the person
Yes,
supporting you whilst you're on holiday?
Really is. Yeah, it really is. It takes a lot of effort, and I appreciate that.
And it does take a lot of effort, because I find I'm starting to write my handover notes at that beginning of that week.
Yeah. And then
I'm
you just got to change
them
it
as I go along, and it changes as well as you go along. Yeah.
Last thing, you're like, oh no, that one's gone in. I can cross that one out. All of that.
It's not a last 5-minute thing before I log off. It's been a week of adding to this document.
Yes, exactly. Or having a call with somebody before you go, and going through the last, right, okay, I've sent out 3 emails. Please chase on Tuesday if we don't hear back from them.
Yeah. Well, and what I tend to do is that week, if I know sending an email, I will copy the person that's covering me, so they've got the background on it just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so there's lots of things you can do to help people that are covering you, assuming you're lucky enough to have someone that's covering you. Define what an emergency is, so for me, the lovely Helen and I had a system whereby I took my work email off my phone, and if there was something I needed to see, and we had an agreed list of what that was, and it wasn't very much, she would message me on my Gmail. And that was really helpful, because it meant that I wasn't worried, because I am a bit of a control freak. Even when I was employed, I used to check my emails on holiday because there wasn't anyone else checking them. And I always had that slight, what hell am I coming back to? So by keeping an eye, it actually made me relax more, because I could see there wasn't anything drastic. Does that make sense? But this is the same thing, because I know if there's anything drastic, I'm going to have heard about it. So I don't need to worry. It's the same principle, just doing it in a more holiday-y way, I guess. But yes. So yeah, let people know what an emergency is and what the plan is. Is there somebody to contact? I know a lot of VAs that cover other VAs when they're on holiday, which I think is a brilliant idea.
Oh, it's just amazing. You go on holiday, you don't want to come back to a pile of work.
No.
It's lovely that somebody's continuing and they'll hand it over back to you in a fantastic state.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a to wait list, because I found that the pressure of getting everything done before I went on holiday was kind of insane. And actually, some things, yes, it would have been nice to get that done before I went on holiday, but actually, is it that urgent that it gets done before? No, it's not. So I would start somewhere in the middle of the week before. I'd go, actually, do you know what? I have not got time to do that. If I get to it, I will, but that's going to go on my it'll have to wait list. Because that just takes the pressure, that sort of intense pressure to clear everything down. It's like, it's not life. You wouldn't do that every Friday. It's just not practical. So I'll park some stuff that I'm clearly not going to get through, if I can't obviously give it to somebody else to pick up.
Just being kind to yourself before going away. Like, you don't have to get something that needs planning for December done in July.
No, I had that conversation with myself yesterday about something in November. I'm like, do you know what? I'm not doing that now. There's more pressing things. But I did a mini pod actually about getting ready to go on holiday. There was a whole series of little holiday things last year, and I used to get so ill on holiday because I was so stressed. And the minute I went on holiday, all the adrenaline would leave my body, and
I
then I
always get a cold.
cold, followed by, in my case, always followed by a chest infection, followed by not a miserable holiday, but a not perfect holiday. Yeah,
Oh, Kathy.
I know. So I've got a plan now. When I went to Bali, I wore a mask all the way because I was so paranoid about getting germs. But also, I think I'm better at, because I have much more control over my workload these days because it's mine. I don't have that pre-stress so much.
And you have the most wonderful team around you
Indeed.
that
So
you trust.
yes, who do stuff when I'm not here, or I know can totally handle things if they come up, which is brilliant. So I don't have that anymore. But yeah, it's good. Saying that, touch wood, going away in September, don't want germs. Thanks. And how do you feel about boundaries? Are you checking your email on holiday? Are you checking in with people, or are you not?
No,
No, you're very good, I think. You're
I'm,
gone.
well, you know what I'm like with work. 6 o'clock,
Gone.
if it's gone, it can wait till
Yeah.
8:30 the next day.
Yes. No, you are
I'm
very
same
good.
with a holiday. I am a great believer that you're not the be all and end all. Like somebody, for instance, for me, is covering for me. I know it will be getting done.
Yes.
So I don't need to check in. I don't need to micromanage that person whilst I'm away.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember back in the 80s, my parents ran a business. And in those days, you didn't have email, you didn't have mobiles, there was no such thing as Wi-Fi. And sorry, Emily, to take you back to prehistoric days. But
We used
if
to have a phone on a cord.
yeah, you had to stand next to it or sit next to it. You had special tables for phones.
And you had a pad to
and
write
a
notes.
and a little Rolodexy thing with everybody's number in it. Yeah, they
You
were
asked me
great.
to get my pad out, and I
did. I said,
phone.
just get your pen and paper. And she went, I'll just write it on my notes.
Oh, oh. But yeah, my parents ran a business, and when they wanted to check in, they had to go to a payphone in wherever they were, Spain or whatever, put actual coins in, and ring back at probably an agreed time, or the person they needed to speak to might not be there. That's kind of mad, isn't it?
But were they more relaxed?
Yeah, probably, because there was nothing they could do. Nobody could. I mean, I'm sure they probably left the name of the hotel, but how drastic would a crisis have to be for somebody to ring the front desk of a hotel and get a note put in your
Exactly.
door, right?
I'm a great believer. Like, it's a week or 2 weeks. Like, go and relax.
Yeah, exactly. So I said that I used to check in when I was employed because nobody else was checking in for me. It was bad, Bobby. And I also am one of those people who I could not just rock up to my desk at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning going, right, what happened while I was away? I am in there the day before catching up. So that
I was about to say, when I was in corporate, I would check the day before. I wasn't going to rock up at 9 a.m. on my first day back. No,
no,
I would do that. So yes.
Yeah. And I still do that now, but I will have blocked my cheeky, mysterious day, and said I'm coming back a day. I'll be available from X date is usually what I put in my notes. And you and Helen will probably know actually she's back the day before, but she had a late flight, or she's going to be in and out doing unpacking, washing, pottering, spending a few hours on email, that kind of stuff. So yeah, and if you're a freelancer, you can get a VA just to come and cover your holiday. I used to do that for people. And yes, there may be the odd question that either you handle with a sort of system, a bit like Helen and I's Gmail system. But you can manage that. So at least you know if there's something drastic going on that you need to be aware of. You don't have to then, because the risk is if you go, oh, I'll just check my email for anything drastic. What happens inevitably is you go, oh, well, I could delete that one. Oh, that's like a really quick reply. So I'll just do that. And before you know it, you've been on there 25 minutes and you're like, oh.
But even having a VA, so VAs are so adaptable to just picking up new businesses and embedding themselves. But having someone just daily check in, getting rid of all the junk for you so you don't come back to loads of junk email.
Yes.
And you've got the priority stuff. It's just invaluable.
Yes, absolutely. And everyone will work slightly differently, but they will all have a system, which might be a folder for read this first, or I usually send an email like at the last possible minute, or even time it So it says, right, the first things you need to do are this, this,
Yeah.
and this. This is what's urgent. The next lot, then go to this folder and read through those. And then there's probably a pile of junk in here, get to it when you can be bothered kind of thing. And I would literally hand it over so somebody has a plan when they come back. But my favourite holiday inbox story, I was covering a client's inbox and he had an out of office on saying I think he was potholing in the Andes or something. He wasn't, but what he was trying to make really clear was he was not looking at his inbox at all, which I think is fine. Might have been on honeymoon, actually. Anyway, he had somebody who I knew was a past client email him, they were a big client, with a request to tender for a piece of coaching work. And I looked at it, I went, yeah, I reckon he'd be interested in that. I looked at the date and went, oh, that's like 2 days before he gets back is the deadline to submit. That's not going to work. So I messaged her and I went, look, really sorry, Ian's actually on holiday until then, but I do think he'd be interested. You probably got his out of office. I'm sure he would be interested to tender. Is there any way we could extend the deadline for him so he has a chance to submit? And she came back and she went, oh, weirdly, I didn't get an out of office. So she wouldn't even have known. She'd have just thought he wasn't interested. And yes, happy to extend the deadline for a few days after he gets back. So he got back.
That's
Top of his list was, right, so and so wanted to tender. They've extended the deadline until X, but you're going to need to start on that pretty soon. And he won. It was a 30 grand project.
all because of you.
And did I get a bunch of flowers? Did I get a bottle of wine? Did I a buffalo? So thanks for that.
See, I was telling Emily about us roles as VAs and EAs and that. We are people pleasers. We want to help people. It's just in our nature. So Kathy stepped outside the box and that man won that bid all because of Kathy noticing something in his inbox.
But I think anybody would have, like when you are a business owner or when, VAs have had so much experience usually in their employed career, they know the really big things that shout at you in an inbox are new business opportunities and complaints or HR disasters with people if you're in a bigger organization, tribunals or people leaving or whatever. Those are the things that are kind of that you pick up on fairly early on, aren't they, I would say. And certainly when we're covering an inbox for a client, we would usually, because we know other people in the business, if there was something that looked like new business, there's no way we're going to sit on that until they get back. We're just going to probably get on Slack and go, does anybody know who might deal with this? Or you just email it to everybody and go,
yeah, you know your contacts, you know who they're working with. So you would say, oh, John, this has come into Mike's diary, calendar, inbox. I'll get there.
Yeah.
And is there anybody that is a point of contact to pick this up?
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously the polite thing to do would be to email back from that inbox so that they recognize the name and say, thank you so much. You'll have seen so-and-so's on holiday. I've asked such and such to get in touch. You copy them in so that there's not a new name immediately.
Exactly.
In their
I'd
inbox,
like to
they're not going to recognize.
Mike, he's supporting whilst.
Yes, exactly. And even if somebody's in your inbox and just deletes the obvious crap and brings the volume down a bit, it helps, right?
It does,
yeah. I'm always happy to come back to my inbox after holidays these days, whereas previously not so much. Out of office replies. I had a horse write mine once. Have you come across this?
Well, I read this when you sent this to me. No, I haven't.
Okay. It's an Icelandic thing called Outhorse Your Email. And literally they have a load of Icelandic horses in Iceland, obviously. And they type on a massive typewriter. You can watch it on YouTube. And it's all gibberish, obviously. It's not actual words because A, they're horses and B, they're Icelandic. But they just stomp up and down on a keyboard, but specifically for your requests. And you use that with a little GIF as you're out of office.
That is hilarious.
Yes, I did that once. I know someone once, a fellow VA, who put an out of office on saying, all emails received between X and Y will be deleted. Please get in touch after this date.
Oh.
She was lying. They weren't deleted. but she was very stressed and really needed some downtime.
She was ready for her holiday.
She really was. But I quite like that. I think it's Virgin. I'm not sure which bit of Virgin. They do that as standard. When you're on holiday, your inbox literally just sends an out of office going, yeah, that's been deleted. So and so's back on this date. Please resend it. Because people are quite lazy, aren't they? And they think, oh, I'll just copy them in just because they need to know. And
Well, half
actually,
of the emails are just for your information.
yeah, quite scary. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't. I like to know.
I like to know exactly. And all those, just for information things, you skim them
Yeah.
and they sort of seep in, although apparently you we were having that conversation earlier and you said, yes, I replied, and I went, good, yeah, I read that. In one ear, in one eye, out the other eye, clearly. I do pay attention. It's in there somewhere. I'd have dug it out if I needed it. But I think ideally on an out of office, you give somebody someone to contact.
Yes.
That is helpful. I mean, it's not always possible if you're a sole person, but I think it is helpful.
It's very helpful because the person that's the point of contact generally has got that massive handover document that we've sent.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll be really helpful.
Yes. Well, and yeah, I mean, when we do out of office cover, we are in one another's inboxes. So that is slightly different because people then don't need to think to email somebody else. They can just email the person on holiday, whoever's covering picks it up and manages that inbox as if it's theirs, which is great. But if you're somebody who doesn't have the ability or doesn't want somebody else in their inbox, then you are relying on that out of office message. And I know certainly I had when I had one particular client, I'd have to kind of go, if it's anything to do with X, please email this person. And if it's anything to do with anything else, please email this person. So it's really clear who somebody needs. These days, I just say my inbox is being monitored and you will get a response. And then
But that's clear communication.
yeah, and because Shannon and Helen are both there, but it
Yeah.
also will tell people I'm not there. So actually, if they're emailing about a meeting for a client, maybe who's, I don't know, got a 10 o'clock meeting, they're going to go, oh, out of office, right? Okay, I'm not going to rely on somebody seeing that. I'm going to ring, hopefully. Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. And I know you're going to be very good at this because you are boundary queen. But when you come back from your holiday, I think it's really helpful before you look at anything to decide what time you're finishing the day, because the temptation is to just keep going until you clear everything, which is not.
Well, I think that's why blocking the first half day back gives you that opportunity to catch up with what you've missed whilst you've been on holiday. And then anything that's coming in on Monday, if it's not being done by the set time that I like to finish, it'll be picked up the next day.
Yeah. And I did a whole mini pod on coming back from holidays and kind of how to tackle that mountain if you have one in a logical way so you don't drop anything. It's 32.5 if anyone wants to go and have a look. Any words of wisdom on how to get through if you say you haven't, or even if you have had somebody look after your inbox, there's still going to be quite a lot there that they either haven't done anything, or they have. You still need to read it all, right?
Yeah, I would break it down.
Yeah.
So I would break down, hopefully if we're talking about somebody that's covering me, they flagged the stuff that I need to pick up. If it's for that week, I'm back and it's got to be action. So those are done. For instance, a meeting we're waiting on needs an invite sent out that week. Make sure that's done. I'm using that as an example task. And then just work your way through it logically.
Yeah, exactly. And take regular breaks and don't panic.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
And start thinking about your next holiday.
Well, you know me, December, we're planning, and your holidays for 2027 will be in.
Do you?
Yes.
Whereas I'm faffing about in July going, probably ought to go and have a holiday.
No, we've got to pre-plan. Yes, first thing I ask my guys in December, whoever I look after, what's your 2027 holidays.
Oh, that's different. That's for them. Yes, I thought
Yeah,
you
but
meant
I'm
for
the
you.
same, but I work like I'm one of them.
You are one of them.
So yeah, no. 2027 will be planned in December.
Oh. Yeah, we're on the 8th of July as we record this, and I have not yet booked a September holiday.
Oh my gosh, Kathy, you need to get booking.
It's in progress. I got last week. I got some dog sitting dates in with the dog sitting family, and then
See, it's why you have to pre-plan because you might not get a dog sitter.
well, they're family, so they're forced to
Okay.
really. But yes,
Like
and
we've got GCSEs next year for my 15-year-old.
yeah.
So this week I've been planning all of that for 27
Does that
because
mean
then
you go away outside of school holidays the first
we
time?
can't. So we've got to plan everything around those dates. So it's different things pulling different times.
But once you finish before the term ends, probably, so you could sneak
So
off
the
early.
I'll tell you, it's in my diary.
Ah,
Last day is the 18th of June, and their results day the 19th of August. So between the 18th of June and 19th of August, we could do a holiday.
but most of the schools don't break up till July, so you've got a window there of
Yes,
prime opportunity of
yeah,
cheaper holidays.
exactly. But see, we've got to pre-plan.
Yeah. Whereas I just have to worry about myself, a dog, and my mate. And to be fair, I would have been more organised, but she broke her foot and wasn't sure how mobile she was going to be, and obviously me and my hip. So we're not normally this disorganised. It's been a bit of, well, let's see if
Life.
one or other of us can walk by the time we go away.
She's got a boot, you've got a stick.
I know, and I've got a puppy, so yeah, it's all going on. It's all
Still
going
go.
on. Brilliant. Cool. Well, good chat. I think the important thing is none of us get as many holidays in a year as perhaps we should or would like to. So the ones that we do have, we should really make the most of and try and be fully present.
And that's the other thing why I like to pre-plan is that I look at all the public holidays and see how much more holiday I can get around them.
Yeah.
So it's being clever.
Yes,
Maximize your time off.
exactly. Exactly. Brilliant. Well, lovely to talk to you. Nice to have you, Emily. I hope we haven't bored you senseless for 40 minutes. But lovely to have you.
These will be your struggles when you are our age
And have a job.
and have a job and thinking, oh, when's my next holiday?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're never enough and they're always too expensive. That's the answer.
They are.
Yeah. Oh, well, lovely to see
It's
you.
right. Mum and Dad are still
Yeah, I
paying
don't know
for
why.
you.
I don't know why I'm complaining. It's never out of my pocket.
Exactly, right? Milk that as long as you humanly can.
Don't
I
worry.
went away with my parents this year. Now that was slightly different because at this point I'm going as a like babysitter, but it was quite nice because I haven't been on holiday with them since I was like 18. So winning.
Winning.
Yeah, gonna do it again. Lovely to
Lovely.
see you guys. Take care.
Thanks. Bye, Kathy.
Bye.
So that was my conversation with Claire and our lovely bonus guest, Emily, all about holidays. However you do it, I hope you get some time off this summer to have some fun, enjoy some travel, some friends, some family, or staycationing, or whatever you do to take time off work. Thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm Kathy, and this has been Productivity Nerd.